The big news away from the Champions League today, the appointment of Jose Mourinho as the new coach of Roma. This is what their general manager, Thiago Pinto, said. We were blown away by Jose's desire to win and his passion for the game. No matter how many trophies he has won, his primary focus is always on the next one. He possesses the knowledge, experience and leadership to compete at all levels. Gab Marcotti joins us. Gab's a bit of a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was especially surprised by how quickly this happened. It was 15 days ago that he was still the Spurs manager. That was the day, of course, he was let go in favor of Ryan Mason ahead of the League Cup and when they were just 2 points out from the Champions League. And then all of a sudden, he signs for Roma. And bear in mind, this is a Roma side that obviously they've undergone a ton of changes. But still, new ownership came in on August 8th. They had no director of football or sporting director. That position was vacant. And it took them 3.5 months to appoint one. Whereas with the manager, boom, they went right in. He seduced them and deal was done very, very quickly.
Are Roma fans excited, Gab?
I think everybody's excited. I mean, I think media are excited by the story. Roma fans are psyched because obviously, you know, they remember what Mourinho did at Inter 11 years ago. He landed the treble. He created this sort of incredible rapport and this incredible feeling with the fans. Now, that's kind of the day one excitement. Then they look at what happened sort of the last decade at Real Madrid, at Chelsea, at Spurs, and at United, and leave the results to one side. He didn't always have that rapport with the fans. He didn't always have the rapport with the players. He was the ultimate players coach, never blamed the players, always stuck up for them when he was at Chelsea the first time around, mostly at Inter and so on. Obviously, that all changed. So, you know, people might say, are we getting the same Mourinho that we saw at Inter? Are we getting somebody older and wiser who's learned from his mistakes? You know, it's usual questions that we throw out there when Mourinho gets a new job.
Jurgen, that's an interesting question and maybe one that obviously won't be answered until we see him in full flow with Roma, but it's a very different Jose Mourinho. Certainly his stock has fallen quite a bit from the one that was so successful at Inter Milan. Can he go to Roma and can he turn things around? Does he still have it?
I think that's a fascinating question and definitely for us, you know, from on the outside, it will be super interesting to see that kind of what happens then the entire next season. So we covered Roma this year many times and they were inconsistent. Really, when it mattered in the big games, they couldn't kind of step it up. And now with this move, having Jose Mourinho, obviously he's drawing all the attention in the city. He will draw the attention from the players and from the media, obviously, as well. This is the big question to see, you know, what is he doing now with this roster? Because we discussed the roster up and down and said, you know, part of the roster is too old. You know, what happens with some younger ones? Whether the younger ones 2, 3, 4 years ago, where are they now? You know, is it given a budget to buy some players, especially in this very, very difficult market today with COVID still kind of putting the shadow on us? So this will be super interesting to watch the next couple of months.
What do you think?
That's a long way behind in seventh. I know they've had issues.
Yes. Plus the team, let's not forget, who just got beaten 6-2 at Old Trafford.
Yeah, and that's unlikely to be reversed, is it, in the second leg? But no, as Gab said, it's always he's always a story, isn't he?
It's always a show.
It's a show, and it's good and it's bad, but more often lately it's been bad. And you know, it's a complete contrast to his early managerial career, where every club he was at, he was the star. I'm just intrigued that he's jumped back in so quickly. I think it just shows it's like for these managers, it's like a drug. You know, they're out 1 minute and instead of going and sitting on a beach and taking a couple of months with their payday, they can't wait to jump back in. It's like they can't let it go. But I've always said to you, and I said the other week, I get the feeling the day-to-day management of these big ego players, big squads, everyone wants to play, they're all well paid, even more difficult to manage maybe than it was 15, 20 years ago. And I felt that it was wearing on them, and that down the line, international football, where I'm not saying it's easy, but you're not dealing every day with players, clearly. You're out watching and you're talking to the managers and whatnot. Jurgen knows that better than us. If he goes into Roma and it's another Tottenham scenario, I mean, that has to be it, doesn't it? I mean, surely, but I don't know. I don't see it being a huge success. I don't. But I just see it being a huge story.
Yeah.
I don't see how they're going to make that big jump unless there's a pot of cash or pot of gold somewhere in Rome that they're going to spend on all these big players. I don't see been much difference to the frustrations that he was having at Tottenham with a limited budget, nowhere really to go with it, and a decent squad, but not a brilliant squad, and that's why ultimately he left the Tottenham job.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.